Hello to all. Good morning. Good morning. How are you all? How you all are? Good. Health is good. Yes, doing well. Enjoying the sessions. Good. Very good morning. Please wake up. Please wake up soon. Kindly like the video to mark your attendance and share with your friends so that more and more students can come to this channel and enjoy the teaching of our lecturers, right? Because here we are not only one, we are having a team of for all the branches. There are separate channel for mechanical, separate channel for EC electrical, and this channel is specialized for the civil engineering. Okay, so we are having 8 people in our team, as you know. Me, Abhishek Bhartiya sir, Ashwarya sir, then Chetan sir is there, Avinash sir is there, Kshitish sir is there, Mrigant sir, Nitesh sir, and Babulal sir. Right. So currently, you have not seen the Avinash sir and Babulal sir. They are taking the classes at the Plus. Right. They are taking class at the Unacademy Plus. Next month they will be see. You can see them. Right. Then Kshitish sir will also be seen soon in the YouTube channel. Okay. Most probably within 2 to 3 days you can see him. Okay, so without wasting any much time, without making your time anymore, so let's start with the stress transformation and the principal stress, third module, of the chapter, fourth chapter that we are studying. So till now, we have studied what is stress transformation, what is the analytical method of stress transformation, what is principal stress, what is maximum shear plane, how we are linking with the maximum shear plane and the what your maximum and minimum principal plane. We have already seen that, yes or no? So because of the few doubts that have been asked by the students yesterday, because of few doubts, okay, so because of few doubts asked by the student yesterday, right, they want me to explain again the part that is how we got the how we are linked with the principal plane and the maximum shear plane. Just see to it, just see to it, just see to it. If I say that this is a cuboidal structural element with horizontal x, vertical y, and out of the plane z. Okay, so I have told you that along x, sigma p1 you can see. Okay, then sigma p2 you can see along y, and sigma p3 you can see along z. Yes or no? Okay, so what you can see, the principal plane. Can you see the principal plane? Yes or no? Okay, then I've told you that the maximum shear plane is equally inclined. Then maximum shear plane, you can see this, visualize like this, suppose I'm drawing like this, you can visualize, just a minute, visualize like this. Visualize like this. Okay, see here. So what I'm saying, that see the principal plane you have seen. Now see the shear plane. So this I'm saying as a first shear plane, just for letting you understand, right? This is a 45 degree to the two principal plane. So this is your first shear plane, maximum shear plane. Okay, then see this. You can imagine that it is in the different plane, right? The plane is changing. Similarly, the third one is this one, right? So each principal plane is perpendicular to each other. Okay, and each shear plane is perpendicular to each other. That you should understand. Each principal plane is perpendicular to each other, right? And each shear plane, that is the maximum shear plane, is perpendicular to each other. And you can see the plane in which these are lying. Okay, got my point here? Yes or no? Okay, so today let us solve few questions. Today we are going to give the time to the questions. Okay, so question number 1 coming up. Question number 1 coming up. For the structural element shown in the figure, for the structural element shown in the figure, for the structural element shown in the figure, determine first what you need to determine your principal stresses and maximum shear stress. Second, you need to determine location of principal plane and maximum shear plane. And third, you need to determine, that is, show all the stresses with a neat sketch. You need to show all the stresses that you find and that is already there with a neat sketch. So let me give you the diagram. Diagram is given like this. Okay, sigma x is there, sigma y is there, and tau xy is there. Okay, so sigma x is given as 200 megapascal, sigma y is given as 100 megapascal, and tau xy is given as 60 megapascal. So this is given to you in the question. Okay, 200, 100. So please solve fast. Try to get the value. Please solve. Try to get the value of principal stress and maximum shear stress. This you can do. Second also you can do. Right. So solve the first two. You also know how to show the sketch. Right. Try to show the sketch till the point you can draw. Okay. Please try. Try this. See the diagram. Diagram is there. See to it. So first you need to find principal stress. First you need to find principal stress. First you need to find principal stress. Yes, you know the formula. That is sigma P1 P2 is equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 plus minus root over sigma x minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau xy whole square. So find sigma P1 P2 from this formula, right? all sigma h sigma y tau h y are positive, so you will be taking as positive. Those who have not written sigma h sigma y tau h y in their copy, please write the value sigma h is equal to 200, sigma y is equal to 100, tau h y is equal to 63. Please write the value. Please write the value. Okay. So first find principal stress, then find tau max. Okay. Then you need to find tan 2 theta p, which is 2 tau hy upon sigma h minus sigma y. Formula you need to remember, because without formula you cannot solve any question. Tan 2 theta tau is equal to minus 1 upon 2 tau hy upon sigma h minus sigma y. Okay, that is tan 2 theta tau. And the last, for drawing the diagram, we will doing the cross check to check for which particular normal principal stress, which particular theta is there, which particular plane is there. So at last we will go for that using the formula sigma n is equal to sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta. Okay, so we look at that, but before, first give me the value of sigma p1 p2 and tau max. First give me the value of sigma p1 p2 and tau max. First give me the value of sigma p1 p2 and tau max. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, give me the value of sigma p1 p2 and tau max. And those who have found the value of sigma p1 p2 and tau max, okay, go for the next case. Go for finding the angle. Go for finding the angle. Please ask your friends to come soon. Today we are going to solve only questions on the principal stress. Please go and ask your friends to come to the channel soon. Yes. Yes. So let's see. Sigma h is what? Sigma h is 200. Sigma h is 200. What is sigma y? 100 by 2 plus minus root over sigma h minus sigma y, that is 200 minus 100 divided by 2 whole square plus what is tau hy, that is 60 whole square. Okay, so this you got. So what we can write here, 200 plus 100 by 2, that is 300 by 2, which is nothing but 150, plus minus 200 minus 100 by 2, that is nothing but 50 whole square, that is nothing but root over 2500. Yes or no? 50 whole square is nothing but 2500 and 60 whole square nothing but 3600. So if I find the root, I will get the value as 150 plus minus. I will get the value as you get the value as 78.1024. Okay, this value I am getting. This value I am getting. Okay, is it clear? So from here, for sigma p1, I already told you that I will take the plus value. So it is 150 plus 78.1024. Okay, and for sigma p2, it is 150 minus 78.1024. So what is the value you are getting? What is the value you are getting? What is the value you are getting? This you are obtaining as 228.1024. Okay, this you are obtaining as 228 minus 1024. Okay, and next you are getting as 71.3 8976. Okay, so this value we are getting, okay, got my point. So this is sigma p1 p2. The answer I am getting in megapascal. Okay, see next, tau maths. Now tell me one thing, you know sigma h, sigma y, tau h, yes or no? So if you know sigma h, sigma y, tau h, then you can find only sigma p1 p2, yes or no? If you know sigma h, sigma y, tau h, then you can find only sigma p1 p2, yes or no? Come on, comment. You can find only sigma p1 p2, yes or no? Yes. So sigma p3 you don't know. So what I told you, if you don't know sigma p3, then what you are going to write? Tau maths. Nothing but tau maths 1. I've told you about this. Yes or no? Only on the, if you know two principal stress, then you need to write the principal stress, the maximum shear stress based on those two principal stress. Is it clear? So what tau maths we are going to write? Nothing but sigma p1 minus sigma p2 by 2. Is it clear? Is this point clear? This I've already told you when I was explaining the maximum shear stress. As I don't know anything about sigma p3, I need to write tau maths in terms of sigma p1 and p2 only. Okay. So what the value you are getting? 228.1024 minus 71.8976. This is divided by 2. You must be getting 78.1024. There is a shortcut. And what is that shortcut? See here. This 78.1024, you can see at one more place. See here. Can you see this? Yes or no? So if you put how we are getting this, if you put the sigma p1 and p2 equation in the tau maths, you will get one more formula, that is root over sigma h minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau hy whole square. Okay. So when you put this in the equation, when you put this particular formula, that is when you put the formula of sigma p1 and p2 with one sigma p1 and sigma h plus sigma y by 2 plus of root value, and sigma p2 put as sigma h plus sigma y 2 minus of root value. So the sigma h plus sigma y by 2 cancelled out and the root value is left. Since 2 times root is there, 2 above, 2 down, it cancelled out. Got my point? So please remember this shortcut. Please remember this shortcut for finding tau maths. Remember this shortcut for finding tau maths. Okay, any doubt till here, please ask. Any doubt till here, please ask. Any doubt till here, please ask. Yes? Any doubt? Any doubt till here, please ask. Yes, dear? Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt you are having, please ask. 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 Sure? Sure? Yes? Sure? No problem? Okay. Next. Tan 2 theta p. Look here. Tan 2 theta p. So what you are going to write? Tan 2 theta p. 2 times tau hy. What is tau hy? 60 upon sigma h minus sigma y. Sigma h is 200 and sigma y is 100. So this become 120 by 100. So if I cancel it, 0 cancelled out, it becomes 6 by 5. Yes or no? So what is theta p? That is half of tan inverse 6 by 5. Half of tan inverse 6 by 5. Okay, half of tan inverse 6 by 5. Okay. So what is the value? 6 by 5 is nothing but 1.2. Yes or no? I need to take tan inverse and divide by 2. So the value will be 25.097 degree. And what is theta P2? Second principal plane. Nothing but theta P1 plus 90. So if I add 90, I will get 115.097 degree. Okay. I will get 115.097 degree. So this is the location of the principal plane. Now what is the location of the shear plane? What is the location of the shear plane? If the denominator part, if you look, it is -1. Denominator part, if you look, it is 6 by 5. So it becomes -5 by 6. Yes or no? So what is the value of theta tau? What is the value of theta tau? Half of tan inverse -5 by 6. Yes or no? So find the value. Find the value. Find the value. Yes. Find the value. The value you are getting as -19.9027. The value you are getting as -19.9027. Now, what you do, if you add 45, you can see that you are getting 25.097, right? Okay. It is 5 by 6, right? See, 6 by 5. 6 by 5 tan inverse, and this I divide by 2, get the value as 25.097. Okay, then if I get 5 by 6, okay, then tan inverse, okay, minus sign is there. We are getting a 19.9027. Okay, more or less it is close to the, if I add 45, okay, if I add 45, it is more or less close to the 25.097. okay, so now we got the value of principal and principal stress and maximum shear stress. We got the value of what? Theta P1, theta P2 and theta tau. Now we are going to cross check for which particular normal stress, for which particular principal stress, which theta, which plane is there. So for that I'm going to substitute the value. So sigma h I'm going to substitute as 200. Theta I can take any of the above, so I'm taking 25.097. okay. Sigma y is I'm taking 100 and tau hy is 60. So let us solve this. 25.097 cos, then square, and this multiply with 200. See, I have already told you, you need to follow the virtual calculator, okay? And when I'm solving on the virtual calculator only, right? And why I'm saying about how I'm doing the step, because the virtual calculator calculation is not same as that of your scientific calculator. Here you not write sign and then the value. Here you first write the number and then you put the sign or cos or tan. Are you getting my point? So that's why I'm solving in front of you. So the value you are getting as 164.019 plus then 25.097 sine, okay, and square of this, then multiplied with 100. The value you are getting as 17.9904. okay. Then next is 2 into 60 is 120, right? So let me write the final value only. So 25.097 cos multiplied with 25.097 sine, okay, multiply with 120. So the value you are getting as 64.083. okay. So if I add the values, what I'm going to get, plus 17.9904 plus 164.019. So the value you are getting as, there is some error, right? Just check. The theta you are getting as 25.097. Okay, so theta you are taking as 64, your 25.097. So the last value that you are obtaining will be, 46.0929. Now add up all what you are going to get, plus 17.9904 plus 164.019. So the value you are going to get as 228.1023. Just check, and you can see there is one value of 228. So you have already matched the value. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it clear? Okay. Now I want to draw the sketch. So let's start the sketch. So first of all, show the structural element. Sigma x is 200, sigma y is 100. Okay, then your shear is 60. Okay, so the first angle I'm taking as 25.097 for the principal plane. I've already shown this yesterday in the previous class, previous module, you can see. And I am drawing a line parallel to 25.097, and I'm drawing two perpendicular line which is representing another principal plane. So at 25.097 you are getting the value as 228.1024, and since it is positive, so I will show tensile 228.1024. okay, 228.1024. And what is the other principal stress? 71.8976. Again it is a tension. So the tension, don't get tensionized. So it is what? 71.8976. 71.8976. Okay, so here also it is 71.8976. Now I am constructing a plane which is at an angle of 45 to the principal plane. I am constructing a plane which is at angle of 45 to the principal plane. Can anyone tell me what is this plane? Nothing but maximum shear plane. Yes or no? It is nothing but maximum shear plane. Okay, is it clear? The plane at which 228.1024 is acting, this is your maximum principal plane. And the plane at which 71 is acting, is minimum principal plane. Okay, see, you are getting all the answer. You are getting the shear plane in XY plane only. Okay, you are talking all in the XY plane. There is no YZ plane or XZ plane. So all these planes you can see only in the XY plane. Okay, so that's why I'm representing the shear. Now try to understand how to represent a shear. Representation of shear. So this is one of the biggest questions the students used to ask. representation of a shear. Representation of a shear. So suppose the shear at one side is acting upward. Okay, so the balance you are pointing downward. This is creating anti-clockwise moment. So for opposite moment, that is clockwise moment, you will develop up in the clockwise direction. So this is one way you can represent. Is it clear? You cannot say that if one shear is upward, other is downward, so it is creating clockwise, so other also you create a clockwise. No, it is creating a clockwise moment and you cannot represent like this. Okay, you cannot represent like this. Then another, suppose the shear is acting down, so other side it will be up. So you can see that it is creating a clockwise moment. So to balance, I need to create anti-clockwise moment. And for anti-clockwise moment, I need to show the opposite shear. Are you able to get my point? Yes or no? So this is also correct, but you cannot draw like this. If you draw like this, you can see that there is a net anti-clockwise, there is a net clockwise rotation. In the first there was anti-clockwise rotation. This is a clockwise rotation. So this also you cannot show. Okay, so either you adopt first or you adopt third. You cannot adopt second, you cannot adopt fourth, because we are dealing with the equilibrium structure. Because we are dealing with the equilibrium structure. Is it clear? Is this point clear? Yes? So see then. So I am taking the upward. I'm taking upward and then downward, balancing. This is creating the anti-clockwise couple. So to balance, it will create clockwise. Yes. What is the value of tau maths? What is the value of tau maths? 78.1024? Yes or no? The value of tau maths is 78.1024. See? Yes. So the value of tau maths is 78 point. Tau maths 78.1024. Here also 78.1024. Okay. Now, I need to find normal stresses. Right? So I am talking on the XY plane. So what I have told you in the last class, that if at one plane I say the value as sigma n, then on the perpendicular plane also the value will be sigma. This I have already told you. Yes or no? I have told you that if on one plane the value is sigma n, then on the perpendicular plane also, on the maximum shear plane, the value will be sigma n. Yes or no? Okay. So see here how to get this value. So there is a principle of stress invariant. So there is a principle of stress invariant. There is a principle of stress invariant. Anyone knows about this stress invariant concept? Anyone knows about this stress invariant concept? Yes. Anyone knows about this stress invariant concept? If yes, kindly comment what is it. If yes, kindly comment what it is. Anyone knows about stress invariant concept? Yes. Anyone knows about stress invariant concept? Yes. Yes. Okay, see what does it say. First I will give the statement, then I will explain. What does the stress invariant say? That the summation of normal stresses in a 2D plane or better to say summation of normal stress on perpendicular planes in 2 dimension at a point is constant. at a point is constant. So what I'm trying to say, suppose, see here, if you look at the diagram, if you look at the vertical plane at which the vertical plane, look at this plane, look at the arrow mark, right? So the vertical plane that is containing how much? 200, yes or no? And the horizontal plane is containing 100. So that is your sigma x and sigma y. Okay, so what is the summation? Sigma x plus sigma y, because one plane, that is vertical, sigma x is acting, and other plane sigma y is acting. Okay, this is equal to, now this principal plane is also passing through the same point, yes or no? Although I'm saying it different, but all these planes are passing through the same point, yes or no? So if all these planes are passing through the same point, then you can see that the major principal plane and the minor principal plane, that is maximum principal plane and minimum principal plane, are perpendicular to each other, yes or no? So then based on this stress invariant concept, you can say that this sigma x plus sigma y is equal to sigma p1 plus sigma p2. Okay, now look at the shear. Maximum shear plane. Again, the planes are here due to the complementary. The planes are perpendicular, and if these planes are perpendicular, then the summation of normal stress on this plane will also be a constant. Yes or no? So what I'm writing, this is equal to sigma n plus sigma n. Now, let me see the value. Sigma x is 200, sigma y is 100. So let me put the value. Sigma x is 200, sigma y is 100. Sigma p1, 228.1024. Sigma p2, 71.8976. Okay, then this is equal to 2 times sigma n. So please add, see what value you are getting. First 300, second also 300. This is equal to 2 times sigma. So from here I get sigma n is equal to 150. Are you able to understand? Yes or no? So the normal stress that I am obtaining is 150 megapascal. Okay, so this is the normal stress that is acting on the maximum shear plane. Okay, so I will be explaining, don't worry, I will be explaining all the things once again, right? Don't worry, right? So first of all, look at this. This is the diagram given to you where you can see the value of sigma x, sigma y and tau xy. So I found sigma p1, p2. I found tau max. Okay, we have seen one more formula of tau max. Please make it in a box. Please make this in a box. Yes, make this in a box. You can solve many objective questions from this. Then we have seen tan 2 theta p. Okay, we have find theta p1, p2. We have find theta tau. Okay, then we have done the cross check to see which normal is acting on which principal is acting on the which principal plane, because we have two theta, we have two normal value, we don't know which normal we are at which theta. So we have checked that, and based on that result I have drawn the sketch. Okay, so just focus on the sketch right now. Just focus on the sketch. Please look on the diagram very carefully. So till the sketching of principle, I've already dealt it yesterday, in that is in the previous lecture, right? That you can see in the YouTube, in the playlist, right? You can see in the playlist, right? So we have just cross-checked that at a theta of 25.097, there is a tensile of 228, that is a major principal, and at the perpendicular plane the other principal will lie. So that we have drawn, right? Next, the maximum shear plane will be equally inclined to the two principal plane, yes or no? So if these two are equally, if the maximum shear plane is equally inclined to the principal plane, so I have drawn 45, 45. Okay. Now, for the equilibrium, I have drawn parallel and then complementary. Okay. So we know that from the equality of shear stress that tau max will be same. Okay. And we have seen how to represent the shear. We need to take the shear such that it is creating a balanced structure. Okay. Thereafter, we have talked about stress invariant concept. This concept is very much used in the objective. That is said that summation of normal stress on the perpendicular planes in a 2D at a point is constant. Okay. Are you able to get my point? Yes or no? So, for all the questions you have solved, you check the result. If the planes are perpendicular, then the summation of normal stress will be constant at a point. And if I see the shear, the planes are perpendicular. If one plane the shear is positive, then the other plane you must be getting shear negative, right? You must be getting shear negative, and the value, the magnitude of the shear would have been same. Yes or no? Right? So from there I got the value of sigma n. So now please ask your doubt. Any doubt you are having, please clarify. This is a very standard question for the principal stress. This is a very standard question for the principal stress. This is very standard question for the principal stress. Any doubt? Any doubt? Please ask. Any doubt? Please ask. Any doubt? Please ask. Yes? Any doubt, sir? Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt? See, these are the, when I say sigma x plus sigma y, both are acting on the perpendicular planes. When I say sigma p1 plus sigma p2, both are acting on the perpendicular plane. And when I say sigma n plus sigma n, again these are acting on the perpendicular plane. But all these perpendicular planes are passing through the same point. That is very compulsory. And I'm talking in a 2D, I'm not in a 3D. I'm not talking in a 3D. Okay. Any doubt? Any doubt? Yes. Any doubt? Okay. Done? Done? Done then? See the next. See the next. Question number 2. For the pure shear condition, for the pure shear condition, shown in the figure, for the pure shear condition shown in the figure, determine, again all the same values, determine what? Principal stress and maximum shear stress, then second, location of principal plane, and maximum shear plane, and the last, third one, sketch all the stresses with a neat sketch. Yeah, sketch all the stresses better. You are writing show all the stresses with a neat sketch. So first of all, you should understand what is pure shear condition. So what is a pure shear condition? When I see a structural element When I see a structural element, this structural element is subjected to only shear. This is a balanced structure. Yes or no? It is subjected to only shear. No normal. This is a pure shear condition. Okay. So you know how to draw, how to find major principal stresses, maximum shear stress. You know how to locate the principal plane and maximum shear plane. Now you also know how to draw the sketch. So I'm giving you 5 to 6 minutes to get the answer. Once you get the answer, mention in the comment the value. Once you get the answer, mention in the comment value. Once you get any value, please mention the comment. Okay, start. Come on, start. Come on, start the result. Get the result. Get the result. Fast. Get the result. Get the result. It's too humid here. Yes. Come on, solve fast. Please solve fast. Solve fast. Solve fast here. Yes. Yes. Come on. Find the answer fast. Find the answer fast. And based on this, because this is a very standard question, right? Many questions around, if you look at this particular part, around 7 to 8 question you can find based on the pure shear condition in the gate and ESE. So the result is going to be very important. So the result is going to be very important. Please solve fast. Get the value of sigma P1, P2, tau max, location, check the result, do the cross check, and then try to draw the sketch. Yes, come on. Get the result. Get the result fast. Fast. Giving you 5 to 6 minutes. It doesn't require any calculations, sir. So you can solve it quickly. Solve it quickly. Yes. Solve it quickly. Doesn't require any calculation. Right? No calculations are required. You can solve it very easily and very quickly. So try to get the answer. Try to get the answer. Try to get the answer. one more thing there. Suppose you are asking any doubt. Suppose you are asking any doubt in when you are seeing the recorded lecture, when you seen the recording, right? So what you need to do, when you put in the comment section, please write the time at which you are not able to understand. Okay, reason being, if you just mention, sir, why it is not there, why it is not there, you are giving me the overview, I'm not going to search for it, right? You can get your explanations properly only when you are exact to the point in asking the question. Okay, okay, just like this, suppose like yesterday in my class, a comment I saw that why in the third Darsham stress is not considered. Now how can I say at which point you are talking? Okay, if you mention the time at which I am speaking this, you will be able to get the reply very quickly. But if I'm not able to understand your question, it's not possible to reply to you properly. Okay, so please, it's a request, whenever you are asking a question apart from the live session, in the comment box, please mention the time of the delivery of the lecture so that I can reply it quickly. Is it clear? Please make sure about this. Yes. Last 1 minute. 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 Okay. Haji. Let's see then. Let's see then. See, first of all, I am finding sigma P1, P2. So what is sigma P1, P2? Nothing but sigma h plus sigma y by 2 plus minus root over sigma h minus sigma y by 2 whole square plus tau hy whole square. Okay, so now sigma h is 0, sigma y is 0, and tau hy is equal to tau. Yes? Okay. So see then. So sigma h is 0, sigma y is 0, so it becomes 0 plus minus. Sigma h, sigma y both are 0, it becomes 0 plus tau hy is nothing but tau whole square. So root I am going to write tau, so the value I am obtaining is plus minus tau. So for sigma P1, I will be using plus, so it is plus tau. For sigma P2, I will be using minus. I already told you all this is minus tau. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? No? Okay. See then. Look at the tau maths. Again, I know only P1, P2. I don't know about P3. So I will write sigma P1 minus sigma P2. Sigma P1 minus. I will write sigma P1 minus sigma P2 by 2. So what is sigma P1 minus P2 by 2? That is nothing but tau minus of tau divided by 2. So the value is tau. Right. So you got tau maths also. Yes, you got tau maths also. Then next is the location. First I am finding the location of principal plane. So that is tan 2 theta p. This is equal to 2 tau hy upon sigma h minus sigma y. So tau hy you are getting as nothing but tau. Sigma h is tau. Minus of minus tau. Yes or no? Okay. So what is the value you are going to get? What is the value you are going to get? Yes. What is the value you are going to get? This is 2 tau. Okay, this is 2 tau. And the other is also 2 tau. So it is nothing but equal to 1. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Oh, sorry. what I'm doing. Just a minute. That's what I'm saying, what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm writing this 2 tau hy upon sigma h minus sigma y. So tau hy is nothing but tau. Sigma h is 0 and sigma y is also 0. So you are getting 1 by 0, that is nothing but infinity. Yes or no? So what is tan inverse of infinity? What is tan inverse of infinity? Say, what is tan inverse of infinity? Nothing but 90 degree. So it is what? 90 by 2, which is nothing but equal to 45 degree. So this you got as theta p1. This is the first principal plane. Next, theta p2, second principal plane. What you are going to get? Theta p1 plus 90. Yes or no? So that is what? 45 plus 90. That is 135. Okay, last day a student asked me, sir, can't I do minus 90? Yes, you can. See, the difference is 90. Is it clear? I've already told you about this. That if I'm moving clockwise, right, then I will be using minus sign. I will be anti-clockwise, use plus sign. So see, if I suppose if I subtract 90 from 45, I will get minus 45. Yes or no? I will get minus 45. So minus 45 and 135 both are representing the same plane. See, if I draw the vertical and suppose I am drawing the minus 45, this is 45. Okay, so I know this will also be 45. So if I take from vertical, this is 135. Okay, so this is the same plane can be represented by plus 135 and same plane can be represented as minus 45. So both are correct. Yes or no? So either you can do plus 90 or you can do minus 90. That is not a problem. But the difference should be 90. Is it clear? So tan 2 theta p I'm getting as infinity. So from there I got theta p1 as 45 and theta p2 I'm doing plus 90. You can do minus 90 also. Right, I'm getting 135 degree. Then next is tan 2 theta tau. That will write minus 1 upon 2 tau hy upon sigma h minus sigma y, which is nothing but 1 by infinity. Minus 1 by infinity is nothing but we write as 0. Yes or no? So what is theta tau? Nothing but half of tan inverse 0. Yes or no? That is nothing but equal to 0. So theta tau you got as 0. That means from the vertical, the plane, the maximum shear plane will be 0 degree to the vertical. That means it is the vertical plane. The vertical plane is the maximum shear plane. The vertical plane is the maximum shear plane. Okay. Now, we have found the 4 values. See here. We have found 4 values. What are the 4 values? We have found the maximum and minimum principal stress. We have found tau max. We have found theta p1, p2. We have found theta tau. That means maximum minimum principal stress, maximum shear stress, location of both we have found. Right? Now to draw the sketch, we need to what? Do the cross check. Let's do the cross check. Let us do the cross check. So what does the cross check say? Sigma n is equal to sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta. Yes or no? So sigma h is 0, sigma y is 0, tau hy is, I'm keeping tau, theta I'm taking as 45, Okay. One angle is 45, other is 135. Yes or no? So 2 into tau. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Sin 45 is also 1 by root 2. So you will get tau only. Because root 2 into root 2 is 2. Right. So 2 by 2 is 1. So I get the value as tau. Right. So On the normal plane, on the principal plane, you will get the magnitude of the principal stress as tau. Is it clear? Is it clear? So let me sketch. Okay, one more doubt you might be having, sir. We represent shear with tau. Okay. So, sir, we represent the shear with tau. Then how come the normal stress I'm saying as a tau? Big question. Big question. Good. Very good. Dear, try to understand. I am representing tau hy as tau. This is just a value. If instead of tau I put a jalebi, over there, so the magnitude of this tau hy, that is shear, is jalebi. Okay, then the normal value is also jalebi. Are you getting my point? That concern is, it is just a magnitude. It is not the direction, the plane, the force that I am representing, that is representing whether it's a shear or normal. Okay, but this tau that is there, it is just representing the magnitude of shear. Okay, so when I get sigma P1 is equal to tau, this tau is the magnitude of the principal stress, and minus tau is the magnitude of the principal stress. It is not saying that is a shear stress. Is it clear? Okay, see then. So while I will be drawing the sketch, this is along HY first. So there I can see tau tau, tau tau. Yes. Then the first principal plane is at angle of 45. The first principal plane is at angle of 45. Yes or no? So the perpendicular will be representing the second principal plane. So at 45 you are getting plus tau. So I will be showing as tensile, and the magnitude of the principal is tau. Make sure the magnitude is tau. It is not representing the shear. And in the other direction, which is perpendicular, the value is minus tau. You can look over here. The value is minus tau. So minus means compression. So on the perpendicular plane, the shear will be in, the force will be in, the normal stress will be in compression of tau. Is it clear? Now you need to draw the shear plane. And if I say you have already drawn it, can anyone explain why? What I'm saying that I don't need to draw the shear plane. It's already there in the diagram. Yes, can anyone understand that? I don't want to draw any further diagram, because the maximum shear plane is already there in the diagram. If anyone didn't understood this point, kindly tell to me. If anyone didn't understood this point, kindly tell to me. Yes. 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 Okay, see then, what you got theta tau as 0, yes or no? 0 means it is the vertical. So you can see the plane which I represented with the green color. This is at 0 degree with respect to the vertical. Yes or no? And the complementary will develop 90 to it. Yes. So this is only the maximum shear plane. The green line, the green color plane which I have shown to you, this is only maximum shear plane. So what can you see? What is the normal stress acting on the maximum shear plane? What is the normal stress acting on the maximum shear plane? Come on, tell me. Write in the comment. What is the maximum, no, what is the normal stress acting on the maximum shear plane? Come on, write in the comment. Yes. 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 0. Very good. It is 0. Right. So how it is 0? Use stress invariant. Stress invariant. So what does stress invariant say? Sigma h plus sigma y is equal to sigma p1 plus sigma p2 is equal to sigma n plus sigma n. If I say the normal is sigma n on the maximum shear plane. So sigma h is 0, sigma y is 0. Sigma p1 is tau, sigma p2 is minus tau, and this is 2 sigma n. So we can see that sigma n is equal to. Got my point, sir? Yes or no? So the plane at which you can see the tensile is major principal plane. Is major principal plane. Okay. And the plane in which you can see compressive is minor principal plane. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Please ask. 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 Write in the comment section. Any doubt in this? Please ask. Write in the comment section. Yes. Any doubt? Please write in the comment section. If you are having any doubt, please write in the comment section. Yes. Yes. If you are having any doubt, please write in the comment section. Please write in the comment section. Okay. So now I've already said that there are some standard results, and these standard results will be used in the gate for simple questions. If you remember the results, it is very simple for you. Okay. Now, so what are the results? First result. See, in this diagram, you will understand each and every point. See this diagram, only you will understand each and every point. Okay. See this diagram. So what is said? What is said in this? That major principal stress, minor principal stress, and maximum shear stress. Can you see that all the three stresses are having same magnitude? Yes or no? Magnitude I'm talking, I'm not saying nature. I'm saying magnitude. Whether you take the major principal, whether you take the minor principal, whether you take the maximum shear, all three are having same magnitude of stress. Yes or no? Yes, say all three are having same magnitude of stresses. Yes or no? Come on, tell. All three are having same magnitude of stresses. Yes or no? Yes, very good. So that is your first point for the pure shear. What is the second point? The major principal plane or minor principal plane, or if I simple say principal plane, is inclined at an angle of, you can see the principal plane. Yes, this is a major principal plane in this case, and the perpendicular there is a minor principal plane. So what we can say that the principal plane are inclined at angle of 45 degree to the vertical. Okay, can I say this? Can I say the 45 and 135 degree with respect to the vertical? So that is your second point. Third point. This is valid only for pure shear. Make sure this is valid only for pure shear, not for any other case. This is not valid for any other case, right? This is valid only for pure shear. Third case, third point, third statement. The normal stress acting on maximum shear plane is 0. It is constant, but in this case it will be 0. What is the value of constant in this case? It will be 0. So these three results are very important for the objective. Okay, so let's write that. Conclusion. Very important, sir. Very important. I'm telling you again and again because it is asked in the objective. Okay, conclusion. I rarely give this much star to any topic. What is conclusion? In pure shear condition, in pure shear condition, in pure shear condition, okay, in pure shear condition. First point, maximum principal stress या major principal stress minor principal stress, minor principal stress and maximum shear stress have same magnitude. Okay, one more thing. Suppose while I'm solving, I'm giving you the notes. Suppose what happens sometime that I say something, but by mistake I used to write something different. So kindly spare me for that. I am trying to improve on that. Okay, but if I do that, please kindly spare me for that part. Right, I am trying to improve on it, and hopefully in the coming future it will not happen. Okay, because I don't believe in making PDF and giving you the notes and all, right? And that means I don't believe that in the screen everything should come and you should just study. That's not the way of teaching. So that's why I'm making this form, and this is a better form, I feel. So in pure shear condition, the first statement that I've given to you is the major principal stress, the minor principal stress, and the maximum shear stress have the same magnitude, right? Second thing that I'm going to tell is principal planes are at angle of 45 degree and 135 degree with respect to vertical. Plus means anti-clockwise, that is very clear. What is the third statement I'm saying? What is the third statement? The third statement is normal stress acting on maximum shear plane is 0. So these are the three statements. Very important statements that you should remember, right? Okay, so need to see a magic. See the magic. Sir, you are going to take something extra that you will always remember these type of questions. Okay. Tau. Now suppose I'm giving the points A, B, C, D. Okay. I'm giving the point A, B, C, D. So can you see the shear direction that at A, the shear is coming from 2A from BA and shear is coming 2A from DA. Can you see that? Same, man. Yes, you can see. So put one point, your thumb and hold A. Okay. Now look at C point. The same thing is happening with the C point. Can you see that? The same thing is happening with the C point. So if the same thing is happening with the C point, what you can see if you hold C now, right, and now you stretch, because at A both the shear is meeting, at C both the shear is meeting. So now if you stretch along AC, if you stretch along AC, what you are going to see that the AC get stretched to A dash, C dash, and BD get compressed to B dash, D dash. Can you understand this? Yes or no? So due to this shear, this kind of deformation you can see. Due to the shear, this kind of deformation you can see. Are you able to understand? Yes? See this, what I'm saying. That due to the shear, what is going to happen? Look at the A, both the shear are meeting. At C, both the shear are meeting. Right? So I stretched along AC, and when you stretch along AC, the BD is going to compress. Okay. And if you look at the principal stress also, then what you can find? That at this angle itself, because the angle is 45 with respect to vertical, at this angle only there is a tensile, that is a maximum, which is tau, and the compressive is in the other direction. Okay, got my point? So this is the way it get deformed. Is it clear? So again I'm repeating, you can see where the major principle is acting, you can see the extension, and where the minor is acting, you can see the compression. I will let you solve the question also on this, don't worry. It is already asked in the ESE conventional, right? It is already asked in the ESE conventional. So I will let you solve these questions, right? So is it clear? Yes or no? So along AC you can see the extension due to shear, along BD you can see the compression due to shear. And this way you can also say where, in which direction the major principle is acting and in which direction the minor principle is acting. Suppose I am giving you A, B, C, D, okay, but shear is acting in the opposite direction. Now, if I say there are two diagonals AC and BD, so which is going to elongate and which is going to compress? If there are two diagonals AC and BD, then which diagonal is going to extend and which diagonal is going to compress? Come on, tell me fast. In the first case, AC elongated and BD got compressed. Okay. But in the second case, what is going to happen? What will happen to AC and what will happen to BD? See the point where the two stresses, where the stresses are meeting. Hold that point and extend it. So what you are seeing, AC will compress and BD will elongate. Okay, and this you can see from the diagram also. If you find the principal plane, you can see that along BD there is a major that I'm writing as a magnitude of tau, and along AC there is a compression having the magnitude of tau. Okay, so if I look at the deformed shape of this, I will get in this form where BD will elongate, okay, and BD will elongate and AC will compress. So I will get the value, let us say D dash, B dash, C dash, A dash. So connect this. So this will be your deformed shape. Are you able to understand my point? this will be your deformed shape. Is it clear? So this is the way we find the deformed shape. Is it clear? So I'm quite sure you have never studied like this. It's my guarantee. You have never studied like this. You will get something different in this Unacademy platform. Right? You will get something different in this Unacademy platform. It's my guarantee. Okay, so see here. So these are the values that we obtain. Now based on this, if you have any doubt, please ask. No doubt? Good. So if you like the video, please, if you are loving this lecture, please like the video and share with at least 3 of your friends, right? And ask them to share with 3. Let us create a chain. Okay. So you got the result. Now I'm letting you solve few GET questions on this. So this was your which question? Question number 2 for the today's class. Let us see the third question of the today's class. Third question say that for the structural element for the structural element shown in the figure, determine sigma x, sigma y and tau hy. Determine sigma x, sigma y and tau hy. So the question is given in this form. This is the first case. They have given the tau. Okay, tau hy, sigma x, sigma y. This is sigma y. This is sigma x. And it is said this is equivalent to, if I construct a plane at an angle of 45 degree, then the values that I am getting as sigma, compressive sigma, okay, just a minute. So the values that I'm getting as is sigma, okay, compressive sigma, compressive sigma. Okay, so these values I am getting for the second one. So this sigma, see all these planes are representing the planes that are acting at a point. Okay, so all these stresses are acting at a point. So first plane I have drawn in XYZ direction, and second plane I have drawn at an angle of 45 and 135. So you know the value at 45 and 135. So you have been asked to find sigma x, sigma y and tau hy. You have been asked to find sigma x, sigma y and tau hy. Come on, who can give me the value? You have just studied about all this. What is sigma x, sigma y and tau hy? What is sigma x, sigma y and tau hy? What is sigma x, sigma y and tau hy? Yes. What is sigma x, sigma y and tau hy? Come on, reply fast. What is sigma x, sigma y and tau hy? This is very important here. That's why I'm giving the time to it. Yes. Can anyone answer? What is sigma x, sigma? Both are the planes, both diagram, both structure element I am representing for the same point. That means the plane that I am representing are acting at a point only. Right? These are not the different point structural element. These are representing the same point structural element. So tell me what is the value of sigma h, sigma y and tau xy. Yes, yes, yes. Can anyone tell? Okay, see then. Just match with the diagram that you obtained previously. Look at the deformed view which I've drawn for the two cases. Don't you think for the first case the diagram which I've drawn is replica of the question I asked? Yes or no? Right. So that is at an angle of 45 degree. So if it is at an angle of 45 degree, then at 0 degree what you see? There is a pure shear. That only shear is acting. Yes or no? So can I say that sigma h is 0, sigma y is 0 and tau xy is nothing but equal to sigma, because we know that the maximum shear plane lies here and the maximum shear value is equal to the magnitude is equal to the normal stresses acting at a 45 degree and 135 degree. Okay, is it clear? Those who still didn't understood, for them, those who still didn't understood, for them, see, when I say pure shear condition, when I say pure shear condition, when I say pure shear condition, so in a pure shear condition, see, this is the first way of representation. In the first way of representation, suppose there is a shear of tau, then at an angle of 45 degree, you will see major principal plane and minor principal plane at 90 degree to the major principal plane, right? So at 45 degree you can see the elongation. So see the elongation. So if tau is the shear magnitude, so it will be tau, and along perpendicular there will be opposite tau. So this is the first way of representation of pure shear condition. Both the diagrams are representing pure shear condition. I will prove that later. Right. Second, if it is given that on one plane there is a tensile of sigma. Again, I'm saying these are magnitude. These are not any stress representing that, okay, sigma is there, then it is representing the normal. No, I'm saying only a magnitude. The stress you can see with the sign of the forces, sign of the stresses. And the other is compressive of sigma. Okay. So due to this, what you are going to see that at an angle of 45 degree, there will be pure shear. Now try to visualize the way I'm drawing the shear. You can see again I can extend this. Yes or no? Right. So again you can see this at 45 degree. Yes or no? Got my point? So now try to link. Yes? Is it clear? So see, don't get confused with the sigma tau. I'm saying that these are just the magnitude. Okay? These are just the magnitude here, nothing more than that. If I'm representing the magnitude of shear with tau, then the principal will also be magnitude of tau. Magnitude. Right? Whereas if I say the principal has the magnitude of sigma, then the maximum shear will also have the magnitude of sigma only. Is it clear? Right. So try to give the answer fast for the next question. Question number 4. Fast, give me the answer for the next question. A jalebi is there. Upward there is a jalebi. So downward also there will be a jalebi. Don't compare the shape of the jalebi. Okay, the arrow is showing the stress, the magnitude I'm showing with the jalebi. Okay, I love jalebi, that's why I'm showing like this. Then at an angle of 45 degree, for the same point I'm drawing the structural element. For the same point I'm drawing the structural element, but at an angle of 45 degree. Okay, but an angle of 45 degree, I am showing the shear and I'm showing the normal. Okay, so shear I'm saying as tau. Okay, and normal I'm saying as sigma 1 sigma 2. So can anyone tell me what is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? First, what is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? Come on, tell me first. What is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? Another way, because some people are getting confused with the sigma and tau, so I better use jalebi for the question. Now you are not going to get confused. You will understand what I'm trying to say. Yes. Don't compare shape of jalebi. I can't make the same shape for all. I'm not here to do the drawing. Yes. Yes. What is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? Yes. Compare the result that you got. 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 Yes. Yes. Come on fast. Give me the answer. What is the answer? What is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? What is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? What is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2 and tau? Yes. Sigma 1, 0. Because it is a maximum shear plane. Yes or no? Sigma 2 is also 0 and tau is nothing but jalebi. Tau is nothing but jalebi. So go and try to make at home jalebi. Don't go out. Don't go out if you want to eat. Okay, it's a morning time. You can do some cooking at your home. Right? So what is the value of sigma 1, sigma 2, tau? Is it clear? Yes or no? So, repeating once more, see here, we started with the very basic of the how to solve pure shear condition. Okay, we started with very basic, and see, this is the way, no? Whenever you del any question, we start with a 0, then we move to the top, right? This is the way we proceed. So we started with what? Find principal stress, maximum shear stress, location, sketch, everything we draw. Okay, there comes the question. So we have found that what is sigma p1, what is sigma p2, what is tau max, what is theta p1 p2, what is theta tau. We have done the cross check. And when it comes to the diagram, there the game has started. Okay, now if you don't know this diagram, do you think you can solve any question? No, you can't. And that's why you feel difficulty in the principal stress chapter, because you don't understand. You just mug up. Okay, just see here. So what I'm telling to you that, see, this is the maximum shear plane. Okay, this is the maximum shear plane that you can see here, right? So since the maximum shear plane, you can see in this case at 0 degree and 90 degree. So the principal plane will lie at 45 and 135 degree. So you can also imagine at which plane major principal is acting and which plane the minor is acting, right? The point at which the two shear is meeting, just extend, you can see the major, and the perpendicular you can see the minor, right? So we have drawn few conclusions. These conclusions are very important. That is, in the pure shear condition, major principal, minor principal and maximum shear have the same magnitude. Second, I have said that principal stresses are at angle of 45 degree and 135 degree with respect to vertical, right? And third, I have said that normal stress acting on the maximum shear plane is 0. Got my point? Okay. So then I have let you understand the deflected shape. Try to look at the figure that is behind the green color, that is behind the deformed shape, which is actually showing the loading condition. So we can see that the shear is there and we have drawn the major and minor principal. So due to which along A, if you look, A, both are meeting, both shear are meeting from the two perpendicular planes, and at C both meeting. So along AC I am stretching and along BD I am compressing. So along AC you will see the major principal stresses and along BD you will see the minor principal stresses. Whereas reverse you are going to see when you are looking for the shear that are meeting at B and D. So if I look at B and D and connect B and D, I stretch BD and I compress AC. So along BD you can see the extension, along AC you can see the compression. Is it clear? These are the major stresses and minor stresses. Always remember that deformation in a body we consider only because of major principal stress or minor principal stress. Okay. Next, see, we have solved a question on this. We have solved a question on this where I want to compare the two results, right? Based on the result that I got, I want to get the value. So at angle of 45 degree, the major and minor principal plane is given to you. And based on this result, it is asking what is the value of the stresses at the 0 degree and 90 degree. So we use the standard result, we get the value of sigma h, sigma y and tau xy. Next, I have explained you how you will be predicting whether it's a pure shear or not, right? Pure shear may be given either it is representing only tau or it may be given as two planes perpendicular, one tensile sigma, other compressive sigma. So both are representing the pure shear. Both are representing the pure shear. Is it clear? Both are representing the pure shear. Next, to solve your doubt regarding your sigma and tau, I've let you solve a question that is not containing sigma and tau in the magnitude, but a jalebi. And based on that, I got the result. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes, any doubt, please ask. Any doubt, please ask. I've repeated whole thing at once, so I don't think the doubt is going to come in this pure shear condition. Yes, I don't think any doubt is going to come in this pure shear condition. Yes, sure. Okay, see then. Now we are going to talk about a condition which is referred as plane stress condition. I'm talking about a condition that is plane stress condition. So what do you mean by plane stress condition? It is a condition when principal stress in one of the perpendicular direction is equal to 0. Okay, for example, if I say this is a cuboidal structural element, okay, this is a cuboidal structural element, and this cuboidal structural element is subjected to the stress of sigma p1, stress of sigma p2, right? Then according to the plane stress condition, the third principal stress must be equal to 0. Okay, the third principal stress must be equal to 0. So what is the plane stress condition saying to you? That in plane stress condition, in plane stress condition, principal stress in one of the direction is equal to 0. Is it clear? So principal stress is 0, right? But it is not saying the strain is 0, right? We know that if the stresses are acting in the perpendicular direction, the normal stress is acting in the perpendicular direction. So due to it, the strain is going to induce in that particular direction. So what I am going to write? So what is epsilon P3? What is the strain in the z direction where I am taking sigma P3 is equal to 0? So can anyone tell me what is the equation of epsilon P3 I am going to write? What is the equation of epsilon P3 I should write? Yes, we should write basic first, sigma P3 by E minus mu sigma P2 by E minus mu sigma P1 by E. Now what I said that sigma P3 is 0. Now take minus mu by E common. You will get sigma P1 plus sigma. Right. So although the principal stress in one of the direction is equal to 0, but strain is not equal to 0. The strain will exist in that particular direction. Is it clear? Right. Okay. So this is the plane stress condition. So how they are going to ask you in the exam, they will just mention the plane stress condition, and that's all a civil engineer require. They don't want to go for the design. That is a part of the mechanical, so leave it to the mechanical students, right? So for civil, you just know what is plane stress condition, right? And how to find the strain in the direction, in the plane where this sigma P3 or the plane, the principal stress I'm saying equal to 0. Okay. Next is plane strain condition. So if plane stress, one of the principal stress is 0, then in plane strain, one of the principal strain will be 0. Okay, just try to understand. Suppose this is the structural element. Okay, this is the structural element, and this structural element is restricted to move in one of the direction. You can visualize this. Just a minute. You will be able to visualize this. I am guaranteeing you are going to visualize this. Now, see here, see in this part. Can you see that this block is not allowed to move in one of the direction? Yes or no? So suppose if I say that one of the principal stress is sigma P1, the other is sigma P2, and the third one is sigma P3, right? So in the direction of P2 you cannot see any strain, yes or no? But you can see the stress in that particular direction, right? So in the plane strain condition, what I'm going to say, that principal strain strain in one of the direction in one of the direction is restricted is restricted is restricted. So in this case, epsilon p2 is equal to 0. What I can write about epsilon p2? Nothing but minus sigma p2 by E. Okay, I'm just writing the basic, right? Let us take it tensile only so that the sign convention is not a problem to you. Sigma p2 by E minus mu sigma p1 by E minus mu sigma p3 by E, and this is equal to 0. So from here E get cancelled out. You get the value of sigma p2, that is equal to mu times sigma p1 plus. Okay, so that is a separate part. We will be using this in further, right? But for a civil engineering students, the two things that you should remember, that when a plane stress condition is mentioned, then in a plane stress condition, principal stress in one of the direction is equal to 0, right? Whereas when you take the plane strain condition, then principal strain in that direction, in one direction, is equal to 0, right? So in the plane stress condition, the direction in which the plane stress is 0, the principal strain will exist. Whereas in the plane strain condition, the principal strain in the direction is restricted. In that direction, the stress must be seen. That is sigma p2 in this case we are seeing, right? So I hope you enjoyed the session. Tomorrow I will let you solve the question on this plane stress and plane strain condition, right? Tomorrow I will let you solve the question of the plane stress and plane strain condition. So please, it's a request that share the video with your friends more and more, so that they also get to know what is the kind of quality we are giving, right? I'm damn sure that you have never seen this kind of lectures. I'm not doing the, what do you say, tarif in English, right? So that I'm not doing, right? I'm just saying that we are having the experience of 5 years, right? And per year, suppose I'm taking a SOM, right? In 1 year, I used to take SOM in 7 to 8 batch minimum, right? And sometimes 20-25 batches I used to take, right? So you can understand the experience that I'm having since 5 years in one subject, right? And that experience you can see over here. Okay, so if you want to share this experience with your friends, right, if you want them also to get profited, right, because I told you this is a one-stop solution. So whatever thing that is coming new, we are letting you know. So please share this with your friends, inform more and more of your friends, and hit the like button so that I can also see that how many students are actually preparing from my lectures. Okay, so the thing is, few of the students have contacted me for the subscription, that how to subscribe to the channel, right? You know the importance of subscription, right? So let me come to the subscription first. So what you need to do, suppose you are going with the mobile app, so go to the Unacademy Plus, right? Go to the Unacademy Plus. If you're going with the mobile or through the any, just go to the Google, that is just Google it, right? Go to the Unacademy Plus, right? Unacademy.com. So when you go to the Unacademy.com, select a goal. After selecting a goal, that is with a GATE and ESE, go for the subscription, right? Click on the get subscription. When you click on the get subscription, you will get the page where you are going to see 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 6 month, 12 month, or 24 month, right? Click on continue. After clicking on the continue button, right, then they will ask you for the code, right? If you're liking my my teaching, then use the code BHAR10, as my name is Abhishek Bhartia. So use BHAR10 for the subscription. You will get 10% discount. Proceed to payment. When you proceed to payment, you have the different options. You can see here, someone is saying that EMI option is not coming. It will come. most of you must have done the net banking on the Flipkart or anything else. The same way here also it is going to come. So click on the payment option. Those who want to go for the EMI, they can go for the EMI part, right? Click on the bar 10, right? And for till that time being, you can post your comments or doubts on the credits. And I've also given my personal Facebook account link, so you can link with that if you want any doubt clarification. Most of you are connected to me and happy with that. So all the PDFs are available on the Telegram group. You can see to it, right? And please, those who are new, please subscribe to our channel. We are giving the best in this field currently. Okay, so this is one part that you should understand. And see, someone said that, so why we want to come, why we are coming, why we need to come on the Unacademy Plus, although we are doing the most of the subjects here. See what happened over there is everything is well planned, well executed. Yeah, all are synchronized one after the other, right? In YouTube it's not possible to synchronize all the topics, right? It's not possible. But they're all batches, the way you study offline, the same way we are doing online, that all batches are properly planned one after the another, right? All subjects are properly planned one after the another, right? Planning is here also, but the synchronization cannot be is not possible in the YouTube, right? So planning is there, right? We are planning for YouTube also, we are doing for the YouTube also, but synchronization you can see in the Plus channel, where the batches are already started for the regular, for the GATE and ESE in the civil branch. The rank improvement batch is starting from the mid of June, okay, and few other batches are also started for the ESE pre. So you can contact me through the link or through any particular part. Get in touch with me and let's crack it with the Unacademy. Okay, let's crack it and have a better future. And we should not waste our time. Suppose those who are in the third year, right, those who have entered the fourth year, they have 6 months. So just don't waste the time. This is the best time to start, right? And if you do in the proper manner, the result will be there. If you don't do in the proper manner, just random you will be studying, it's very difficult to get a good rank. Okay, thank you, then we'll meet tomorrow.